finally sitting down to film a video about safety razors. In the past month, maybe 2 months, this has definitely been my most requested video, and people have been asking for it since I started talking about using a safety razor back in my Eco Beauty Swaps video last year, and I get it, but I just felt like there are videos out there about this. Can I really add anything of use? I don't know. But I thought the best way to do it would be to ask for your questions. I've got some questions to answer at the end of this video. It'll help me kind of format this into something slightly more informative. I'll talk you through the 2 razors that I've used, and I'm just going to tell you why I use it, why I think it's great. So the first one that I purchased was this. I will link them both below. I can't open this for you. I really wish that I could show you the both, but I just cannot open this razor. It is just welded shut. So the idea with this one is you can basically swizzle off the handle, you can change the blade. That's how you do it. And with the other one I've got, it's much simpler, and I'll show you that. This is a more traditional one. There's, you know, it's preference, but this has also got a shorter handle. If I had my time again, I would definitely buy one with a longer handle, and there is a butterfly opening. So this is the butterfly opening. You basically just twist it and it's open, the blade's inside. Apologies, this is a used blade, but I'm going to swap it out in this video. And then you have a razor. On one side, you have the blade poking out. You can see, again, it is grim, but you know, this is a used razor, guys. It is what it is. And on the other side, you have the blade poking out as well. So you get basically 2 razors in one. But it is just the one blade on each side, which does make a difference if you've got sensitive skin. So the main reason that I use a safety razor is because I had really bad razor burn. When I mentioned this in a video, you guys recommended a ton of different things. Creams didn't work. I tried various different kinds of shaving gels and foams and stuff. It was not working. I always used to get really bad bumps around my knees and underneath my thighs. And that was either directly after shaving or it was as they grew out. And now I don't get any of that at all. Incredible, but I don't. I also did try the friction-free shaving subscription box where you get the handle and then they send you the refills. And that was fine. The problem I had with that was that I found that the blade that you put on, the refill blade thing, just kept falling off. So it was super annoying. It was nice, but that was the reason that I stopped using that, and I eventually decided to give this a go, and I would not go back now. For those of you that watch my vlogs, you'll know that recently, the beginning of lockdown, I was just like, had no energy whatsoever, and it does take longer to shave my legs when I'm using my safety razor, and I was just like, pitiful, saying that I couldn't be bothered to shave my legs, just, ugh. And I will shave, I could be a shut-in who never saw anybody and lived alone, and I would still shave my legs. That's just me. I'm not someone who can leave them for months and months. It's just I don't know if it's just my self-care, what it is, but I can feel the hair on my legs, and it makes me uncomfortable. And so it's really unusual for me not to shave my legs. So Lee came home with these disposable razors one day, and I was like over the moon. Couldn't wait to shave my legs, shaved them, so happy, it was so quick, so easy. And then the next day I got razor burn again, straight away. So you live, you learn. So that is my main reason for using them. Obviously there are tons of other benefits because in theory you should just have this one razor forever, potentially. It's a stainless steel razor, it should work, it should last you for a really long time. The blade is the thing that's getting replaced, and everything else, providing the mechanism is still working, should be fine. I don't know what happened with this. Super annoying, but pretty much from the minute I got it, I realised I was going to want one with a longer handle, and once I knew that there was an easier way to change the blade with a butterfly opening, I wanted that too. So I did wait until this one was basically not working for me anymore, and then I purchased this one. This is the one that I would recommend, but again, I have only had this for about a month, so give it a minute and I'll really tell you, I'll give you a full review, but I will link them below for you. So I'm going to show you how to change the blade. You can get a big box of blades at about £10 for 100, which is crazy. I mean, seriously, it's so much cheaper than getting any other kind of razor. But I have these little ones that came with my most recent razor, and so I'm going to show you. You push, these are all just individual razor blades. You push the blade out, it's in waxed paper. I'm going to open up the razor as it is, and on the sides, it's the only way because this is not sharp on the edges, from the sides I'm gonna lift up the blade, and I've made myself basically a sharps box. So this is just a jar with, it's effectively a money box, a slit in the top so I can drop it in there. Then I can open up this new blade, slot it into the razor and close it back up again. I realised that's not going to be for everyone, but it is super, super simple, a lot easier than the other one that I had. So if you're looking on Amazon and you see that there's different openings, butterfly is the word you're looking for. In terms of how to use it, I'm going to just show you on my arm because I don't know how else to demonstrate. And when I watched other videos about this, it did kind of make me feel like, I'm not sure whether or not this is something that I would want to do, because they made it seem like it would be really difficult. And yeah, okay, you have got to find the right angles, but it's kind of a little bit like shaving, you know, when you shave for the first time and you've never shaved before, you're likely to cut yourself because you don't really understand. You kind of find your rhythm. You've been doing it for what, 20 years at this point, and you're like, oh, this is just kind of how it works. You don't really think about it. Whereas, remember once when you actually hadn't shaved at all, it felt weird and you had to kind of find your groove. This is a different kind of razor and you have to find your groove again. But it's not, the only reason it takes me a long time is because I have to put on like shaving foam and whatever, which we'll get to. But it's not actually like slow, very, very careful. That's not why. Right, so I've put on something, hang on, let me move. This is the problem with filming at this time. The lighting does not enjoy me. Right, so I've just put on a little bit of something and it's just the same as shaving. You can see in there. It's just the same as shaving. I have shaved that portion of my arm, so that's going to be fun. We'll see. We'll see. I haven't shaved my arm since I was a teenager. It just is the angle, so you can see where the, oh, in fact, you can actually see the hair on the razor. You can see where the blade is there, and it's just a matter of getting the angle to the skin. It's really not difficult at all, and it's not a scary thing. I'm not like constantly, ooh, being careful. Really, no more than I was before. It's all a blade at the end of the day. You're not getting any more of a blade with this than with anything else. The only thing is you may be changing it more often, and so it's sharper more often. And I used to nick myself shaving all the time. There's really nothing that makes this different in that way. So the thing that takes this or makes this longer to do than, you know, my regular disposable razors that I used to use is I could use those with very little of anything. They used to have like a little strip. I could just put a little bit of something on. I'm like haphazardly, whatever, while I'm in the bath. Whereas with this, it kind of needs something because it's just kind of metal on squeaky skin. It needs something to slip because it's got no strip. It's got nothing that comes with it. You know, we're kind of used to that little creamy or whatever strip that comes with all of the razors now. Because this doesn't have anything like that, you need to make sure that your legs are like lathered up. If you already use shaving foam, or conditioner is a great thing to use as shaving foam, or an oil or whatever it might be, then it's really not going to feel that much different. But because I was a lazy shaver, that's why it takes me longer. But basically I get up, I scrub as usual, so I just scrub, sit in the bath for a little bit, soften up my skin. Then I stand up in the bath, because I take a bath rather than a shower. Fun fact about me, but I do every single day. I take a bath. And then I stand up in the bath, I put on my conditioner or my oil or whatever it is I'm using that day, and then just shave as normal. So the questions that I got, a lot of people, when I've mentioned this before, have had questions about shaving your bikini line. And someone specifically said, is it hard to shave if you shave everything from that area? No, it's not. It's no more difficult than it is to shave with a regular razor. You've got to be careful in that area with any razor that you use. It's a blade near your vagina and all of that stuff. Yeah, no, it's not more difficult at all. And I do that, and I use an IPL device then to make sure that the hair doesn't grow back, which by the way is fantastic. This was sent to me years and years and years ago, just for those of you that are interested, and it's expensive, but in a heartbeat I would repurchase this. And it is falling apart at this point. It's called the Skin Smooth, I think, powered by iPulse. So if there's another one by iPulse, it's probably a similar situation. And I think they've got nicer versions of this now. But I use this exclusively on my bikini line. And I swear to God, I can shave it all and IPL it, and then it just does not grow back as long as I'm using the IPL once a week. Incredible, absolutely incredible. And since I used to wax myself, like DIY wax, I had a lot of ingrown hairs and a lot of issues with that, whereas this, game changer. So you can do that, and recently I've had to do that again because I kind of let my IPL slide and I'm having to start all over again. So I can attest that it works just as well with this razor, but obviously you're going to be careful because, you know, you're going to be careful in that area. Do you do any prep in terms of exfoliating? What shaving foam do you use, etc.? So I think we've answered that question. What I tend to, I don't find that my legs do very well these days. If I use like a salt scrub and then I shave, it tends to aggravate my skin. And so I like to use just a shower gel or something and like a brush, exfoliate, sit in the bath for 5-10 minutes to kind of like soften up all my skin, and then I shave and I get the closest shave that way. How easy is it to use? Any handle recommendations? I'm keen on the idea. So again, if you get a longer handle, I definitely think it's easier to maneuver. Have you tried any different blade brands? I haven't tried different blade brands. The only one I've had is the Wilkinson's one, but I know lots of people recommend one certain type. I'll put links in the bio in the description of the ones people recommend. But if you guys are watching this and you tried different blades, please let us know what you would recommend. Are they good for underarms? That's the only area I shave. And do you need the hair to be long? No, you do not need the hair to be long at all. I shave every couple of days. Once upon a time, I used to shave every single day. I know that's nuts, I realise. I'm just checking to see if we've had any more questions since I started this video, which we have. Yeah, I used to shave every single day. It used to just drive me insane. I couldn't. It was like an obsession. I can feel, like if I'm wearing jeans, I can feel the stubble. My hair does grow very fast though. My hair, usually not on my head, weirdly. In recent years, yes, but my hair on my body and my face grows very quickly, and it's really, really annoying to me and just irritating. Ugh, just the feeling of it in my jeans. Whereas I know some people can go like all winter, and I don't know if that is preference or different hair types, because I just couldn't. If I didn't shave my legs for a week, you would know about it. Like wolf-like, I swear. Products you recommend so you don't cut yourself. Right, so I have cut myself many times, both with a regular razor and with this razor, and it's hard to say because oftentimes it is just, you know, like around your ankles, around your knees, you can nick yourself occasionally. I would say the most often that I nick myself is if I've got a slight bump. You know, like if you have got like a tiny little, and it will be teeny, teeny, tiny because this is such a close shave. And sometimes it will just take the head off that teeny, tiny little bump. It's not painful. It's a pinprick of a nick. But that does happen more often than a regular actually cutting myself. Although the other day I did cut myself around my ankle. The first day I used this for the first time, it was with a brand new blade. I was like, whoo, it is what it is. How long do blades last, and do you find it difficult for knees and other tricky areas? I don't find it difficult for tricky areas, and I think it would really depend on you. I like to change my blade, I would say every week to every 2 weeks, depending on how much I've shaved. And for example, right now I'm shaving my bikini line as well. More than my bikini line, but TMI. And so I would definitely do it once a week. Whereas if I'm shaving, like, let's say, in some alternate universe, I was shaving like just from my knees down, which would be crazy for me, I probably could last 2 weeks. It depends how often you shave, hard to say. Most of the questions kind of repeat themselves. Lots of like, how easy is it to use, how easy is it to change the blade, what would I recommend, etc., which I think we've gone over. The one thing that I want to mention is in all the time that I've been using this and swapping the blades over and whatever, I have cut myself once, and it was pretty hardcore, and you won't even believe how I did it. And this is why I decided to make myself the little sharps box. It's not something that I'm super worried about because the kids that I've got in my house are like older, but obviously if you've got toddlers or something, then probably what I would do with the jar situation that I've got going on is I would super glue that lid to make sure that they couldn't get into this. But my kids aren't seeing a jar like that and being tempted to open it. Plus it's all on a high shelf anyway, but you know, it's not something I have to worry about in my phase of life. So before that, what I used to do was I had them all up on a high shelf, and I just kind of like put the blades back into, I had like a box, and I put them back in the wax paper that the new ones had come out of, put them in this little box, whatever. And so at some point, I can't tell you when, whatever it happened, I decided that I was going to put all of these blades in this thing and throw them away and get rid of them. And I don't even know how it happened, but they were in this box, and I slid the box into the bag that I was going to throw away, and there was a little bit of the blade that was sticking out of this box. It was like a box that the original razor came in, and it cut all down my, I don't know what finger it wasn't my thumb, but I remember I had to go and buy myself those like Steri-Strip things where you like join because it wasn't, I couldn't put plaster on it. It was quite a deep wound from the tiniest thing, and it was literally, I just dropped it in and it sliced into my finger. That was my one and only time of anything bad happening, one and only injury because of these blades. Definitely didn't put me off using them, but it made me realise that I needed a real way of getting rid of them. And so now I have my little jar, my little Morrison's Best jam jar. But you can actually buy Sharps boxes, you know, you can do it the right way if you want to as well. But I wanted to include that because I know that'll be a question, you know, how dangerous is it? Have you had any mishaps? That was my one mishap, which I don't think is too bad. Overall, really, really happy with the safety razor. Would recommend for all of the reasons that I've mentioned. Not for everyone. My mum would never in a million years. Just the idea would be horrifying. But I'm assuming if you're watching this, then you are open to suggestion. You wanted to have some of these questions answered. And if you've got any more questions, let me know and I will respond in the comments. But yeah, I'm not sure what else I can say. But if there's lots more questions and I've missed something major, I'll make another video. And if you want to actually see it in action on my legs, I could do that as well. We'll see, maybe I'll include it in a vlog. But thanks for watching. Hopefully this has been useful for those of you that actually wanted me to make this video. Hopefully it has answered the questions that you had. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!